I'm sorry you had to experience such a cruel act on the very day you were born into this world, Ezine said to the baby. I will be her mother, and I will take her as my own child, Ezine said to her husband. Yes, she is a blessing from God, Okoye replied. Yes, she is. After all these years, I thought I would never be called a mother, Ezine said, as tears rolled down her cheeks. Let's give her a name, Okoye said. What name should we call her? Ezine asked. Let's name her Omar Sirachi. She is truly a gift from God, Okoye said, as he gently took the baby from Ezine. Okoye danced and played with the baby. Okoye and Ezine cared for and loved Omar Sirachi as their own child. Where could this elderly couple have gotten a baby from? Some villagers gossiped as the couple passed by with Omar Sirachi. Others congratulated them and offered gifts for the child. Tilda years passed, and Omar Sirachi grew up being deeply loved by both of her foster parents. Not only was she cherished by her parents, but she was also adored by the villagers. Omar Sirachi always accompanied Okoye to the river to catch fish, and afterward they would sell the fish at the market, returning home with the money they earned. Mama, we're back! Omar Sirachi shouted as she walked into the compound with Okoye. Welcome, my daughter, and welcome to you too, my husband, Ezine greeted. Mama, take this. I kept this fish aside while selling the rest, Omar Sirachi said. This fish is huge. It's sure to be delicious, Ezine responded. Yes, I caught it especially for you, Omar Sirachi said proudly. Omar, no. I caught that fish especially for your mother, Okoye snapped playfully. Oh, we caught it for you, Omar giggled. Not we, I, Okoye corrected. But father, I helped you, Omar Sirachi protested. That's enough. You two are starting again. Omar, take the fish inside and I'll prepare a meal with it, Ezine said. Omar Sirachi teased her father as she ran inside with the fish. What a silly girl, Okoye said, laughing. Tilda. It was Prince Ugona's 18th birthday, and King Obidike threw a grand party to celebrate. During the festivities, the king asked his son to make a request, saying he would give him anything he wished for, even if it was the head of his enemy. Father, I have no request in mind right now. You've given me everything I could want. Please allow me to save my request for later, when I need it, Prince Ugona replied. Sure, you can make your request at any time, King Obidike responded. Thank you, father, said Prince Ugona. After the celebration, Queen Akugo summoned the chief priest. She offered him gifts, saying they were presents from the prince's birthday. The real reason I called you here is to look into the prince's future again. I want to know what lies ahead, especially now that he's becoming an adult, Queen Akugo said. After chanting some incantations, the chief priest spoke. My queen, it will be difficult for Prince Ugona to rule this kingdom as long as King Obidike is alive. The king will be an obstacle to the prince's reign, the chief priest declared. What do you mean by that? Queen Akugo asked, alarmed. When the time comes, you will see it for yourself, and then you will understand, the chief priest replied. Queen Akugo couldn't sleep that night. She kept thinking about what the chief priest had told her. How can that be possible? Why would the king be an obstacle to his son's reign? She wondered aloud. My queen, may I know what troubles you? It's late, and you're still awake, asked Olu, the queen's personal maid. It's nothing. I just need some time to think about a few things, so please leave me alone for now, Queen Akugo said. Okay, my queen, Olu replied as she left the queen's chamber. Tilda, mother, father. Omar Sirachi called as they sat down for dinner. Yes, what is it? Ezine replied. I've been wanting to ask you both something, Omar Sirachi said as she ate a bite of pounded yam. Go ahead, ask your question, Okoye said. I've been thinking, why did you have me when you were so old? And why don't I have any siblings? Omar Sirachi asked. Don't worry, my daughter. We'll answer your questions when the time is right, Ezine said. But mother, when will that be? Omar Sirachi asked. When you turn 23, Ezine replied. Huh? Okay, Omar Sirachi muttered as she washed her hands and took the plates to the kitchen. Why didn't you tell her now? She's already 18, a young adult. She'll understand, Okoye said. Her heart is still too fragile to bear such terrible news, Ezin responded. Okay, if you say so, Okoye replied. I wonder what it could be. Omasirachi whispered to herself as she eavesdropped on Ezin and Okoye's conversation.
It's been 5 years, and Omasirachi was still curious to know what her parents were hiding from her. Oma, today is the day you were born, and we want to celebrate it with you, Okoye said. Yes, my daughter, what meal would you like me to prepare for you? Ezina asked. Yes, any meal of your choice. Your mother and I will prepare it for you, Okoye added. Thank you, mother and father, but instead of a meal, I want you both to answer my question, Omasirachi replied. What question? Ezina asked. The question I asked on my 18th birthday, Omasirachi said. My daughter, let's talk about that later, Ezina stammered. But mother, why not now? You promised to answer my questions when I turned 23, Omasirachi insisted. Okoye walked up to Ezina. My wife. Let's tell her everything she needs to know. She's old enough now, Okoye said. Come and sit close to me, my daughter, Ezina said to Oma. Oma left where she was standing and sat next to Ezina. Ezina then began to tell Omasirachi everything, how she and Okoye were unable to have a child of their own, how Okoye found Oma at the river while fishing, and how the king of Aguta had all newborns killed due to a prophecy. She explained how Oma's biological parents sacrificed their lives to save her from being killed along with the other babies. Omasirachi was shocked by everything Ezina had told her. Mama, are you telling me that you and Papa are not my biological parents? Omasirachi asked. Ezina nodded in response. Omasirachi turned to Okoye. Papa, is it true? She asked. Yes, my daughter. Everything your mother said is true, Okoye responded. Tears rolled down Omasirachi's cheeks. Stop crying, my daughter. I know everything you've heard is tragic, but we thank God that He preserved you for us. So please, stop crying, Ezina said, comforting Omasirachi. It's heartbreaking that your biological parents were murdered the day you were born, but I want to assure you that we will continue to be your parents. We'll never stop loving you as our own daughter, Okoye said. Mother, Father, thank you so much for taking me in as a baby and caring for me like your own child, Omasirachi said, tears streaming down her face. It's okay, my daughter. Please stop crying, Ezina said as she laid Omasirachi's head on her lap and gently patted her back. The next day, Omasirachi went to the village square with her friend, Uju. At the village square, other maidens were present. Some were playing, while others were dancing to the sound of the flute. Oma! Oma! Uju called out as she tapped Omasirachi's shoulder. Yes? What is it? Omasirachi responded. What are you thinking about? You seem lost in thought, Uju said. It's nothing. I'm fine, Omasirachi replied. No, you're not. We came here to have fun, but you're not dancing or playing. Please talk to me. What's wrong? Uju asked. I'm thinking about what my parents told me, Omasirachi said. What could that be? Uju asked. Omasirachi revealed to Uju everything her parents had told her. What? You mean your parents aren't your biological parents? Uju exclaimed. Yes, please lower your voice, Omasirachi said. I'm sorry you had to experience such tragedy at a young age and lose your parents as a baby, Uju said. It's okay. Thanks, Omasirachi replied. So, why are you still thinking about it? Uju asked. I want to travel to the village of Aguta, Omasirachi said. What? Aguta? Uju shouted. Shh, keep your voice down, Omasirachi whispered. Why do you want to go to Aguta? Uju asked in a hushed tone. I want to see the evil king who murdered my parents and make him pay, Omasirachi said. Oma, he's a king. You won't be able to get access to him. And how do you plan to make him pay for his crimes? Uju asked. I have a plan, Omasirachi replied. What plan? Uju asked. I will go to Aguta and work as a palace maid. Then I'll find a way to earn the king's trust and poison him, Omasirachi said. You talk as if it's easy to get a job at the palace, and besides, you're from Urua. How do you expect to become a palace maid in Aguta? Uju asked. I'll have to try my luck, Omasirachi said. And how do you plan to poison the king when you can't even hurt a fly? Besides, your parents won't allow you to go to Aguta, Uju said. I'll come up with an excuse to leave for Aguta, Omasirachi responded. But I advise you not to go to Aguta. You're going on a dangerous mission, and you might lose your life, Uju said. Don't worry about that, my friend. The only thing I'm concerned about is how to convince my parents to let me go to Aguta, Omasirachi said. I just hope you'll listen to me. I wouldn't advise you to go to Aguta, Uju said. It's getting late. Let's head back home, Omasirachi said, as she stood up. To be continued. Please subscribe to my channel, Time of Tales, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Also, like and share.